can already tell today's going to be a bit unhinged. Hello, I'm Kenny JD, content creator, nosy bitch, as well as indie musician.
What's up, man? It's Sean Pecos, the ultimate dot connector.
And welcome to Connect the Dots. Connect the Dots is an incredibly special set of conversations where we discuss not only what happens on the court, in the booth, or behind the scenes, but also take an unfiltered look at stardom and culture.
You can't learn funny in school, you can learn comedy. I know plenty of people went to school to get a background.
We get to know who people are, what drives them, inspires them, motivates them, makes them into fully fleshed out people. A real humanistic look at those you know and love.
If I wasn't a comedian, I'd be a professional sugar daddy.
Aficionado.
So here's the story. Hey, that's how we got it edited out.
Shout outs to our partners C4 Smart Energy and PrizePicks. Love you all. Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Connect the Dots here at All-Star Weekend, NBA All-Star Weekend, and we have an incredibly exciting guest today. My mother is somewhere like, hell yeah. We have NBA legend, I would like to say, because it was a fundamental part of watching you in the early 2000s playing. But yeah, this is Metta World Peace.
Thank you. Incredible introduction. Thank you.
So I'm your co-host, Kenny JD, and here
I'm Sean Pecos, co-host. My man Metta came through for us.
Hey, my God.
Always love.
Thanks a lot for having me.
Yeah,
honored.
Thank you for coming. We are filming this the day after the NBA celebrity game at the All-Stars, which you participated in. You want to give us some thoughts on the experience?
Absolutely.
Wait, before we do that, can I set up the scenario real quick?
Absolutely.
This is what happened, right? I was sitting, right? I see Metta comes in. He's talking to Stephen A. Smith, right? He goes, yo, Stephen A. Smith, I'm going to whoop these celebrity guys' ass. Right? Did you say that?
I did say that.
And then 3 minutes later, I see sub me out. What happened?
For sure. Steve, I didn't warm up.
Yeah, okay.
I was on my phone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm going to whoop these uncoordinated influences. You know what? And my first up and down, I needed a breather. I had 4 points. They got me. One celebrity had 37.
I know the guy that was jumping out the sky, right? Oh, man.
It was impressive.
Yo, it was funny because I was sitting next to Jalen Brunson. He's one of our clients at CAA and obviously the all-star for the New York Knicks point guard. We talked about how great he is because we sat together courtside of the Knicks game and we was talking about how much of a monster he is. But I was telling him, I'm like, yo, this is like a regular sized court. I
was surprised by that too.
I felt bad for the guys running up and down.
It was
crazy.
bigger.
It was bigger.
Yeah,
man.
It was definitely not regulation. I told Adam Silver, I said, hey, this is not regulation. This is not fair, man. So we're gonna find the NBA. It was great though.
I feel like, wasn't it that they converted the football stadium?
Yes.
Okay. So, and they kind of made a makeshift court for the basketball. So, yeah, let's find the NBA about it.
Do you it was Lucas Oil, and I was familiar with it because Dwight Freeney, who's going to the Hall of Fame this year, is a good friend of mine, and he played for Indianapolis Colts. And do you remember that year that I think it was the first time ever that the NBA converted a basketball court was in Dallas Stadium?
Right.
You remember that?
I do.
It was levitated and stuff
the
like
All-Star
that.
Weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't there, but that was the first time they did that.
Yeah.
I mean, the All-Star Weekend is just growing.
Yeah.
I was All-Star once in my life in LA. It was at Staples Center.
Okay.
And then since then it's just grown. Remember it was in Vegas that one time?
Yep.
It was in Vegas. I went to that one, and now it's just even here in Indianapolis, it's incredible. Mm-hmm. I didn't think it would. Nobody thought it would work. They haven't had it here in 40 years.
Wow.
In Indianapolis. But they're doing a great job, and basketball is just on fire right now.
Prior to, we're going to get to you living here in Indianapolis, and you told me earlier today how much you love it, right?
Yeah.
How was your experience as that time when you were an all-star in L.A.? How was that?
It was great, man. I was 23 years old. Wow. I was the defensive player of the year. At that, I remember that era, because it was just growing up. obviously before the Malice and the Palace in Detroit, but right before that, 23 years old, one of the youngest defensive players to ever win it. A small forward, which typically was a bunch of bigs in that era.
Right.
You had Shaq.
Right.
You had Duncan. You had all these bigs, and I was Ben Wallace. Rasheed Wallace, and I was just right up in there, and I was able to get the Defensive Player of the Year award, All-Star, third-team All-NBA, and being there, it was kind of surreal. I remember getting on the court, and everybody was already All-Stars. I was on one end just practicing, while everybody was shooting around, and I was on the other side just going hard.
Right.
But and all those guys owe me $500, by the way. I'm never gonna forget it.
Metta still look like he's gonna come get that bread.
Said,
you know what I'm saying, Kenny?
I want to come get the bread. So, so they was like, okay, half court shot for $500. I said I'm in. I hit the shot, and nobody paid.
Nobody paid.
And this is unacceptable. 20 years later, so we'll figure this out.
I don't think I could see a 23-year-old Ron Artest at that time talking like that. You from Queensbridge, so they better pay up.
It was, yeah, I know who was there. No, but it was a great experience.
I love that.
I think what struck me is like 23. 23 is a very, very young age to be like in that much spotlight, in that much superstardom. Like, what is something that you think that, not if you would have done differently, but like, what do you wish you would have known at that time at like 23 going into your rocket stardom?
That's a great question, because I think at 23, my first major was architecture at St. John's, right? So that right there shows you what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking a lot, right? So from that perspective, I wish I would have had more patience. My mind wasn't only on basketball, it was on other things. I'm playing basketball. I'm like, all right, cool, I got this set. What's next? Then it was rapping. I'm like, all right, cool, I'm gonna try to rap. I'm gonna do that. All right, cool. No A&R, no producing, but cool, just spit it out. All right, what's next? All right, we got shoot, we could do this. So my mind was all over the place. Because basketball it was fairly easy to lock somebody up. So I wasn't really focused on that. Yeah, so then now you're going out to the parties. Now you just don't know about patience. You don't know about the effects of alcohol on your emotional levels, right? You at that age, you don't know that alcohol is a depressant. Then you mixing that with marijuana. Also, I was a young parent at 16 years old. 16, 18, 20, and 22. So now you have that whole thing where you're a father, right, and a husband. I wasn't married at the time, then I got married, but so all this stuff is happening, and I didn't understand patience, and the process. I needed everything now. I needed the future now. I see my vision, and I need it now. Even when I started rapping, I was like, okay, it came from a passion. It came from just wanting to get out emotion, but then also on the business side, right? Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I'm a rap, and I need this. I need to be platinum tomorrow. It wasn't like I'm going to go through the process. Yeah. So patience is something that I wish I would have known, that if you have that, that is going to really work out for you in the future.
Because like the idea that you were always looking at something else differently. We heard that you had already started in the NBA and then applied to work at Circuit City?
Yeah.
Why? I'm curious why.
It's so funny, right? So I was 19 years old.
Okay.
Some people heard this story, right? And then somebody is like, Metta was broke, right? So Metta needed a job. I'm like, for one, I just came out of St. John's. Right. I just signed a $999,000 deal. It was $1 from $1 million. Right? I remember. I'm like, damn. Right? So no matter what the scenario was, that was my contract, and I applied for a job. And and after tax, that's $500,000. Right. So I'm not rich anyway. Right. So anybody that's has even $1 million in their account, if you worked at Circuit City for 20 years, right, you probably have $500,000 in your account. Yeah, absolutely. Right? And you're working, you're getting a discount. Right? Yeah. And you're being smart. So at 19-year-old, that's smart.
That's a smart.
Right. And I wanted the discount because I got this money. I don't know what to do with it at 19 years old, but I know I want DVDs. right? And I know I want
discount on DVD.
I need that discount because now I'm like, damn, I'm getting this DVD. I'm getting this new stereo system for my little apartment, right? I'm balling. I'm a billionaire, right? I'm like, damn, I got a stereo.
I got the stereo.
I got DVDs. I'm balling, right? I'm in a club. I can buy 10 shots. I can't see that. So
It's just so crazy how at that age,
What does balling mean
what
at
does
that
balling
age?
mean, right? You look at that now, like you buy 10 shots at the bar, you're like, yo, my man, go get a table.
Yeah, go get a table. But
That's
then,
so crazy.
But then you do realize, like, oh, I can't keep sustaining, what I'm doing monthly. Because the DVDs is costing. The food is costing.
That's right.
Now you buying lobster. You can't really afford that.
That's right.
You're right. So I said, I'm going to get a job.
And at that point, when you had 2 kids already? At 19?
That was 99. Yep. I had 2 kids at that point. Yep.
Look at that. You got to
Yeah.
feed your kid. That's crazy,
Yeah.
man. That's a big responsibility. How old were you? So when you went to St. John's, were you still living in Queensbridge?
That's a great story. That's a great question. So at St. John's, my girlfriend at the time, who has 3 of my children, she was from Astoria.
Oh, story.
Where
Yeah.
Remy Ma's from.
Yep,
and,
yep.
Shamika Hall, so many great people. So, and so we both moved on campus to St.
okay,
John's, but I
okay.
was still going back and forth. From Queensbridge to St. John's.
So Queensbridge, the urban legend is that you and Havoc grew up on the same floor together?
Yeah, so I was born on 12th Street,
Okay.
which is Mob Deep Block.
That's right.
Then 6 months, and then, when I came out the hospital, Roxanne Shante used to babysit me.
Wow, this is crazy.
So my mom used to, I guess, whatever she got to babysit me.
Yeah.
So that's really incredible that I was in her arms as a baby.
As a baby.
And then I moved to 10th Street, which is
Okay.
Nature's Block.
Nature's block. Okay.
So I moved to 10th Street, and then, but we only have monkey bars on our block.
Yeah.
Besides, if you go back in the handball court, we have basketball hoops. But so I would go on 12th Street
Right.
to hoop.
To hoop.
My dad started bringing me on 12th Street, and then my cousins lived on that block. So Havoc and my cousin lived on the 3rd floor.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
so then I would go there a lot. I know Kiwan,
Yeah.
and I know them as their name. I didn't know he was Havoc.
Havoc, right. You knew him as the government.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, so my cousins and Havoc and and Killer B, before he was Killer B, I remember playing Manhunt and Tag.
Yeah.
With Killer B.
So I remember growing up in the projects. I'm from the Bronx. So I grew up in Douglas Projects in Manhattan, and it's so weird you said the monkey bars, right? Because after a certain height, like when you were short, you would play basketball in the monkey
For
bars.
sure.
Remember that?
For sure.
But then once you got past that and you was nice, you had to go play in the court.
Yeah.
I never got past the monkey bars.
Yeah. I learned, you have the monkey bars, some of them, then you had like a couple sections.
Yeah.
And you said, okay, the middle one's the hoop.
The hoop, that's right. You had to.
The middle
that's right.
one.
That's right.
Sometimes we would say all of it's the hoop.
that's right. Right.
So you're
But
just
the
trying to
middle one-
block.
That's right.
I
Damn,
dunked
crazy.
on nature a couple times.
Yeah.
On the monkey bars.
That's called hood mentality, right? Growing up in the hood, the middle one was the hoop, and you had to get nice like that. That's so crazy. Shout out to Queensbridge, my man Snacks, QB, and my man Jungle. So one time, I worked in the music for a long time
Absolutely.
at Def Jam, and Nas is my man. We cool. So one time, I had met all of Nas's people through spending time with him. So my man Jungle, his brother Jungle,
Absolutely, yep, Jungle.
my man Snacks, and all those was my family. So it's crazy because, and I just want to ask you, I owned a restaurant in Astoria, so I'm driving through there, and I see Snacks on the corner hanging out. So he's like, "Yo, Peck, what's up?" So I'm like, "All right." It was like 1 in the afternoon. He's like, "Yo," I get out my car, I'm chilling with them, hanging out. And then before you know, it's like 5, 6 o'clock, and I'm sitting in QB in the middle of the hood, hanging out the whole time with Snacks in them,
That's
right?
normal.
And it's normal, but I'm saying it's like it was so cool. Like the brothers over there, such good brothers. And there's this bar that I hung out at across the street. You know what bar that is?
What year was this?
This was maybe like 10 years ago, right? I think I heard it's Tragedy Gaddafi's dad that owns the bar.
Was it Zoe's?
It might have been Zoe's. It's like they had the $5 Hennessy shots. I know I was twisted by the time I got out.
There's a couple little It's a couple little spots.
Little spots over there, yeah. But shout out to them. But I love QB. Talk to us a little bit about after you sort of went from monkey bars to the court. How was that playing ball in there?
It was incredible because when you look at Queensbridge, it's a big neighborhood.
Yeah.
And it's a huge history with rap, with Marley Marl and everybody like that, MC Shan, and then also with basketball.
Right.
So we had Vern Fleming, who played for the Pacers, Sean Green, who played for the Pacers, me, played for the Pacers, all from Queensbridge.
Right.
Vern Fleming and his niece has a baby with my cousin.
Oh, wow.
That grew up on Havoc Block.
Right.
Then we have Jeannie Waldron, Syracuse. Red Bruin, Syracuse. Ronnie Williams tried out for the Celtics. Marvin Patterson led the country in assists. Eric Chatfield went to New Mexico. Jave Meade played. I think it was school Jave. We had so many Division I and Division II scholarships. So playing in Queensbridge, Lakey who played, Lakey the Kid.
Oh, Lakey the Kid.
He used to play. Lloyd Newton, and the list goes on and on and on. Mike Chatfield, all these. So in the neighborhood, each block had a squad.
Right.
It was different. So I grew up playing in the neighborhood.
Right.
Against guys was a few guys was hustling.
Right.
But was very cerebral ballers, like high IQ ballers. High IQ.
Wow,
so in the neighborhood, we had our own little Madison Square Garden. We called Lakey Block. That was the Mecca of basketball. And then we had 12th Street with Mark Block. That's where I was at.
Right.
And then on Nas Block, you had like Reggie Jesse who went to St. John's.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So me and Reggie the same age. We went to St. John's together as freshmen.
Yeah.
Which was crazy. So you had that block. Then you had Vernon, Marley Marl's block. Nobody really went over there to play ball.
Why it was wild over there?
Well, it was a different block. It wasn't really. It was ballers over there. They had their ballers too.
Yeah.
But it was just a different vibe, And but it was just, incredibly competitive. So many college coaches. You see college coaches coming in
and out,
recruiting
like kids.
Yeah, recruiting kids.
Oh, man.
It was just so competitive, really competitive. The list goes on, but a lot of great ballers.
That's so crazy. I know Lakey the Kid. I didn't know he was nice in ball back in the day.
Hey, Lakey was he wasn't like one of the best.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I saw it. I tell him this all the time. I remember him playing in the Reese Center and shooting from half court, but it was a small court. But I remember watching them as players.
Right.
I remember I played against Wiz.
Oh, wow.
Wiz would be playing. All these guys really helped me, even though I was better, but Wiz will play hard. Wiz is diving on the floor for loose balls.
Right.
I'm 13 years old.
Right.
Getting this work from grown men.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So that's sort of
Rapper Noy was nice. Capone was nice. I played in the game with Capone where he had 69.
What?
Yeah.
Capone is CNN.
69.
Capone and Noriega. He's one of our brothers too, man.
Havoc was nice. I played with Havoc.
Yeah.
I played with Havoc in PS 111.
Wow,
Yeah.
man.
Everybody was balling.
So much history to come out of there on sports and the music side. I love that,
Incredible.
man.
It's just, it's really tough growing up in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
But every day you walked out, it was like paradise. It was like you was poor.
Right.
But you in this place with nothing but stars. Nas is from there. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
So you inspired.
Yeah.
But you're still hungry.
Yeah, because everybody's still hanging out outside. They got to get their food together. That's so wild to me to see, like, I'm just intrigued as a city kid growing up in the city to be able to come outside and see all that greatness. You know what I mean? Like, coming from the Bronx, I'm around Jennifer Lopez, Peter Guns, Lord Tariq, Big Pun, Fat Joe, right? So I understand as a kid where you're coming from, it just makes you hungry to want to get Kerry Washington, all these people from my neighborhood and stuff like that.
I didn't even know that.
So just as a young kid, if you didn't get it right, you would take it for granted, right? But you use it as an inspiration. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could just imagine going out every day and seeing people that talented and how that would make you feel like, okay, so it's both talent and hard work because everyone's equally as hungry, literally and figuratively. And then going in is just incredible. But we did touch briefly on, did you want to? No, go ahead. Okay. We did touch briefly on just the kind of mental and environmental space of being in the NBA at that time. And you did talk a bit about, there's a rumor, we should say, that we did a little research. But we were talking about Hennessy. Did you drinking before a halftime?
Well, so yeah, at that time, I'm an open book.
Oh, okay.
As so many people know. And I was always open because I was like, why hide stuff? You know, it works against you and it works for you. It works against you when you're in the NBA in a professional setting and you're telling, especially in 99 and in 2001, people wasn't ready for openness.
No.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm from the hood. These are my friends.
Yep.
You know, they traveling with me, you know, and doing everything people are doing now.
Yeah.
You know, and so, you know, from that perspective, you know, I just told stories. You know, I was, you know, I a couple times I did indulge. We were losing a lot. I was under a high amount of stress. There's no excuse to be drinking alcohol during a game. All right, but me personally, the losing got to me. I never lost. I never lost. 27-0 in high school, taking St. John's to the Elite Eight, and then you get to Chicago, you know, and I knew we could have won, but it was some lineups that, you know, we couldn't win because I'm not starting, you know, and it's a whole different game. So I wasn't used to the rules. I'm
like
used to
relying
winning.
on like other people.
Start the right people. But in the league, sometimes you're developing. Sometimes you want to get that pick. We all know this. Got to get that first round pick. So, you know, you don't want to win 30 games. You ready just win 12. You know? So, you know, from that perspective, it was kind of hard. And then I'm not being ready for the league. All that stress piled on top. Then I was a young parent. When I look back at it, I don't really feel bad anymore. You know?
Oh, yeah. That
I
sounds
didn't
like a
even
lot
understand
of
who I was at that time. So, yeah, I was like, sometimes I would just do wild stuff. Yeah, it was wild, you know, but yeah.
You know what I think is amazing about him too, Kenny, was the first time, like we had always seen each other in passing.
Passing.
40-40, me always working with Jay and always seeing you, Metta. But the thing that I love about you is that sometimes you really can't judge a book by its cover, right? I felt like the first time we sat down and spoke, man, one, I didn't realize how articulate you are, how very smart you are from all perspectives, life and business. Like, we were talking about your business and everything you had going on, but I'm like, yo, nobody gets to see this side of him. Because one, he's running around just handling his business, which is good, but you really got to see him as an executive, as a businessman, as an owner. Remember we were going into all your shit, and I was like,
I was talking
yo, bro, the world needs to know this guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I was talking your head off on the phone one day. I remember. I was pitching myself.
Yeah. He was definitely pitching himself. But it was so intriguing because you've always gotten this perspective of him being, you know, bad guy. Like a rough, you know, coming from the hood. He was always just not following the rules, but he's a fucking really smart businessman, which I love, and God bless that.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate we need that for the kids.
Yeah,
you know
for
what
sure.
I'm saying?
All the rules don't need to be followed. I feel like.
By the way, I've been breaking the rules since I was a kid. So it's what's got us here. But that's so crazy. So getting into that, you know, you having that image as a trash talker, who'd you play against talk more shit than you when you was coming up?
Well, I didn't talk a lot. I was locking people up. It seemed like I was talking trash. I was really locking people up silently.
Oh,
you know. But some people that didn't really like back down or would talk. Paul Pierce is.
Wow.
You know, 'cause we had battles, and then Paul, he'll get the best of me, or sometimes I'll get the best of him. If I was ever getting the best of Paul, he's still talking. You know? I'm like, he busting my ass. I'm like, hold on, he ain't busting my ass. He's just talking.
He got up in your midst.
He's just talking right now. But Paul's a great trash talker. And then
Shout
Gary
out to Paul,
Payton,
he's a good dude.
on Gary Payton's way out, you know, I seen him play, huge fan, and then he was talking on his way out.
Really?
Yeah. Gary Payton was talking his last year in the league, so he was, and I got a chance to experience that.
Yeah. But he was a defensive guy like you, the glove, right?
Yep, the glove is for sure. Dude.
Yeah.
I actually learned a lot from Gary Payton. But actually, those two guys stand out. I don't know. It wasn't many other trash talkers.
The others, right? Yeah,
Yeah, it wasn't many other.
Who was your mentor? Who was somebody that you sort of helped guide you through the NBA? Because I know that's important, and you want to talk to kids about business and stuff like that. But on the court, who helped you with that?
Well, you know, when I was younger, I wasn't listening to anybody. So I didn't really, you know, listen to my mentors. Reggie Miller tried to mentor me early.
Wow.
But I wasn't really listening.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't accepting anybody's mentorship. Because I was going through so much. Like you mentioned, like the tough guy image. Well, you know, like when I was playing, you know, my friends is dying. And I'm so attached to home. Now I got to play this game. And every other month, you know, somebody's dying that's close.
Yeah.
And I take it so hard.
Yeah.
It was it's just like, damn, like he's not here. You know, there would be times where I'll be in Chicago. We'll be practicing on a Friday. I drive 13 hours back home just to be home for 16 hours, drive back to Chicago to practice, you know, just to be home. Right? Then the next week your friend's not there anymore. Then we had a huge raid, 57 people locked up, you know, and I was like, damn, my friends is not here, people locked up. And I just want to help my community, you know, so it's like you can't do nothing. You have no control. So from that perspective, it's like, you know, and then my own family's going through stuff. You know, we got siblings in psychiatric wards, aunties in psychiatric wards. You see what I'm saying? You know, all type of stuff. And now you're like, all right, you know what? I got some money. Yo, let's go out tonight. All right, cool, we go out. Let's go drink some Henny. Well, that, you would think that's going to, you know, solve the problem. But let's go out, let's have a good time. Yeah, and my friend's like, yeah, man, let's just go out, run. You know, don't worry about it. I know you're going through a lot. Let's just have some drinks. That's a depressant. But you don't know that's a depressant when you're young.
Right.
Until you get older, you start learning about yourself, doing more research. You're like, damn, this is a depressant? Why? We used to drink a gallon of Hennessy every 2 days.
Oh my
While
God.
in the league. We used to have, we call it a Hennessy trophy. We would put the gallon, you know that big bottle that don't break when you drop it?
Yeah. With the handle on it.
With the handle?
Yeah.
You could drop it, don't break. We used to have, it'd be lined up on our top counter. We had 20 bottles. And we said, we got to throw them away now.
Wow.
You know, we got to throw them away. All my friends, we just, and that type, you know, when you're in basketball, you need to be clear. When I stopped drinking, that's when my average went up. Shot up. My game just changed totally.
Wow.
Yeah, game changed totally. So that was like, people got a chance to see the good side, the hustle side, the work, and then they also saw the bad side,
Right.
you know, and the depressed side.
Right.
They saw it live on television.
So it was something that you had to do within yourself to make
sure.
the change, not necessarily have a mentor. You said it's like a drug addict. You had to say, yo, I want to stop when I want to stop.
Oh, my, yeah. I remember when I first stopped indulging in marijuana and alcohol, and I didn't want to get help for it. It took me 2 years, literally. It took me about 2 years to, what do they call it when you smoke and then you stop smoking and you want to smoke? Or some people do drugs, they stop doing drugs, but they need the drugs. What do they call that? Withdrawal. It took me about 2 years. I was going through withdrawals for like 2 years, but I said, I'm not smoking. You know, and that was tough. Imagine not smoking, you telling yourself you not smoking with no help. So for 2 years, I was going through that. Then when I got over that hump, I was clean, and then I wasn't drinking or smoking for like 7 years at a point in my career. I wouldn't even touch it.
So hanging with Peck, CC, Tiafo, and all of these sports legends has really made me get into PrizePicks, the official daily fantasy sponsor of Connect the Dots. PrizePicks is so simple, and to be honest, really means more than traditional sports for me. It's the esports I absolutely love. As y'all know, I'm a bit of a gamer. So the fact that I can make selections on Call of Duty is pretty awesome. It makes watching the matches so much better. And I'm really starting to get into the teams. I'm excited for us to have some WNBA legends, Caitlin, Sabrina. Hopefully you're listening so I can make my selection on those games and Peck can take me courtside, perhaps. As a Michigan girl, I even got my friends into making selections on NBA games. But the Pistons, yeah. PrizePicks for me is about simplicity between the ability to use Apple Pay and easily deposit, or the promotions like Taco Tuesday. I have been having so much fun bouncing my selections off Peck. Hit the description for the official link to use code CTD for a first deposit match up to $100.
So we're going to send it over to our favorite and controversial segment, which is the Hip Hop GOAT bracket.
And don't feel uncomfortable, Metta. Everybody's like, oh, shit, this is going to get me in trouble. Nah,
Everyone's like,
this
I'm
is
going to
all
get in
fun.
trouble.
And then once you get through, it's just fun. It's fun.
And we are doing a New York specific one for this episode. So we're going to start off with I'm Blind. I think that says Biggie. Biggie versus
You're
Cardi
definitely
B.
blind. This is Notorious B.I.G. There you go.
So we have Biggie versus Cardi B. Biggie versus
Upper
Cardi
management
B.
once again with the terrible slot selection.
I love the question mark at the Cardi B. Who you go with? Notorious B.I.G. or Cardi B?
I'm gonna go with Biggie.
All right.
Nothing against you, Cardi, and sorry that answer was very easy.
No disrespect.
No
to
disrespect to
Cardi.
Cardi.
Upper management once again does the terrible slot selection.
It's an ongoing joke. We have Mos Def versus 50 Cent.
Even though I really love the intellectual rap, you know, you have Nas, who's a little bit both. You have Mob, who's a little bit just gangster. And you have 50, who was like storytelling. 50 is just dope. Mos Def is dope. That's actually really tough if you really get down to it.
Yeah, if you know music.
That is not easy, but I'm going to go with 50.
All right.
50 did a great job coaching that yesterday, too. I know
50 did a great
I
job.
know he was on
I'm
the opposing team, I know, but he did a great job.
So we have Jay-Z versus Rakim.
Jay-Z versus Rock, that's tough. Man, I remember hearing Jay-Z first album, which I love. His first 2 albums was like incredible. Obviously, he evolved.
Yeah.
He said, what did he say? If you like my old album, go buy the old album. I was like, you talking to me, man. When he said that, but I love his first two. Rakim, his first album's a classic. I wish you would have had them later. That's actually not fair.
Upper management fucking up the brackets again.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna go Rakim.
Ooh.
Just because that's like a 8th seed versus a first seed in the first round, and
All right. Then Nas versus Nicki Minaj.
I'm gonna go with Nas. Nicki's done. I'm gonna go with Nas.
QB.
Oh, I see. So Jungle made this bracket. He was trying to not have Nas compete with Jay in the late rounds.
So now we have Biggie versus 50 Cent.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Where Brooklyn at? But yeah, so Biggie, you know, R.I.P. Biggie had a short career.
Yeah.
That verse on Eminem album, what was that song called? You're Dead Wrong. Wow. That song was sick.
Yeah.
For him and Eminem. I'm going to go
Eminem
with
and
50. 50 first album. I think 50 did sell more records than
Yeah, 50 sold a lot of
Biggie.
records than a lot of people, by the way.
I love Biggie. I've never been asked these questions, by the way. So sorry, Brooklyn. I love you, Brooklyn. Soul in the hole.
So we have
Fort Greene. I love you.
Rakim.
We don't want no smoke. We ain't none of that. Yo, we heard you chose 50 over
Navy
Biggie.
Yard.
Now you got beef with every over 40-year-old in Brooklyn. This is all just fun and games, gentlemen.
Yeah.
We just,
So we have Rakim versus Nas.
That's also a tough one because, you know, Nas, his longevity, he's incredible. But Rakim, you know, he got that album that he had that set the tone for hip hop.
Yeah.
You know, so this is crazy. This reminds me of the Final Four when I played. Oh my goodness, I'm going with Nas.
All right.
Let me tell you why. I gotta go home.
That's right. You gotta go see Snacks on the corner chilling. You know, we love Snacks. We don't want none of that smoke.
And so
But that was tough. That was really tough.
Yeah.
So we have Nas versus 50 Cent.
That's I mean, it's tough
Wow,
and it's
this-
not.
think about this, though, how it came down to 2 Queens guys. You understand?
Damn, how'd that work out? How'd that work out?
I love this.
But I mean, Jay's incredible, honestly. But 50 had that one album, incredible. First 2 albums. Nas had his first album didn't sell as much,
Right?
but it was super impactful.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of hip hop and you know, and his storytelling and impact, that of a Pac, that of a Jay-Z. 50 just like hit the hearts. I mean, 50 was telling a story about the real story.
Yeah.
Even his albums before the first one that went diamond
Yeah.
was fire. You know, I think Nas had more longevity than 50. Darn it. I wish this was Jay-Z and Nas in the finals.
Made it easy.
50 having longevity in storytelling. He's still telling stories through movies and film. So my goodness. I'm gonna go with Nas, honestly, because I think a lot of people would have went with Nas.
Yeah.
You know, not just me. So this is the thing about Nas. Because Nas is from our neighborhood, I feel bad for Nas because we all feel entitled of his time.
Of his time, yeah.
Yo, it's even me.
Yeah.
You know, so if I see somebody else getting Nas time,
Yeah.
I'm like, I want that time.
Yeah, 100%.
Yo, it's crazy. He got thousands of people in the neighborhood that want that time.
Yeah.
You know, so I feel super bad for Nas.
Yo, that's what I'm trying to tell you. When I was on your block hanging out, Nas is calling me like, yo, bro, what the hell are you doing out there? I said, yo, you brought me out here. Nas is the best, man.
And he's a great person.
Oh, man, so smooth.
Yeah.
We got to get him up here so Kenny could drool over him for a little while. That boy, he don't change, right?
So real quick, what comes to mind when you see these? Obviously, we got.
Yeah, look at these pictures.
All right, so Vancouver, that was in 2012. I was doing I was rapping at that time, so I was trying to build up my fan base. But that's like one show every year. So I had a great time there, and then that's my first album. Diddy did the intro. Mike Jones was on the album.
Oh, that's fire.
Big Cap, R.I.P. Big Cap.
Oh, Big Cap, man. Rest in peace, Big Cap.
We got a couple songs together.
Oh, that's my brother,
That album wasn't, I wish I had an A&R. Like, I wanted that album to be way better than what it was. I really wish I had an A&R and a producer for that album.
Right.
It would have been fire. But I really, it's a solid project. But I really wish I had an A&R and a producer and a writer.
Crazy.
Spend a lot of time on that album. This picture right here, that's an incredible picture. Lakey, who's,
look at Lakey.
Big brother, Nashawn.
Yeah.
I know Nashawn. Skins was a great baller. This is on 12th Street. Oh, this is on the Hill, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's on the Hill. Nut. These are all my friends.
I love that.
Good people. This right here, that says the Worldwide True Warriors. So that was like my rap group. From 1999. It's a movement. Really wasn't. And then it told a story because when I got to the league, me and my friend, we were still rapping. I was still doing my thing. We was really we was working hard, but we was on that journey together. So that's why I wore this shirt. And just to have that trophy, my daughter made that hat for me.
Oh, wow.
So she made that hat for me. That was incredible. And then to have that trophy from the brawl, from the Malice and the Palace, to thinking we was gonna win a title here in Indiana, so that picture tells a lot because I didn't think I was gonna win a title after the brawl. I just thought the basketball guards was like, nah, you messed this up,
So Kenny's from Detroit.
Yeah.
And her mom loves you to death, as she was saying. And she talked about that. Can you give us just a quick little perspective on what your view, what you saw from the Malice in the Palace?
Well, the Malice in the Palace was, at that time I was I was top 10 in the league. Larry Bird was like top 10. So I was playing extremely well. I finished number 6 in MVP voting the year before that. Came back averaging 7 points more and still the best defender. So I was going for the MVP. You only have a window of opportunity for MVP. So at that point, I was playing really well. My mind was right, but I wasn't ready for somebody to throw a cup of beer at me. I wasn't preparing for that. Like when Ben pushed me, I prepared for stuff like that with my therapist, but I wasn't prepared for someone to throw something at me.
Which is just fucked up to do
that
anyway.
Caught me off guard.
Right.
That caught me off guard. So,
it was a little something that just tricked it.
Yeah, I mean, I just, it's like you walking in the Bronx and somebody just throw water in your face. Yeah. It's like, okay. It's on and popping.
On site. Yeah.
It's just water. Yeah, it came from God.
Right.
But you threw it in my face. Right. So I don't understand that.
Right.
That was that whole thing. So I don't really take that as a loss or anything.
Right.
Yeah, I just felt like I don't want anybody to feel like they could just be disrespected.
Right.
But I love Detroit. You know, shout out to Detroit. I love Detroit.
So we talk about that, right? Like being for the Bronx, Queens, having somebody not being prepared to have a cup thrown at you or water thrown in your face, right? It's just so crazy now how it's probably important how we have to talk to the younger kids to discuss how to deal with mental illness, right? Because we didn't have nobody to talk to about that. You talked about the Hennessy, the liquor, the marijuana, your friends, right?
Self-medicating.
Right? You self-medicating. But it's so crazy now because now the NBA talks about that, right? The people you can talk to help you with that. But us growing up in the projects, we didn't have that, and it wasn't cool. You know what I'm saying? Like now we got to be able to tell our kids and stuff like that. If you have a problem or if you feel a certain way, just reach out to somebody or figure out how that is important. Just looking in your eyes and talking about, we're the same age, and even though we grew up on different sides of the water, but it's the same thought process.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Same thought process.
Yeah.
You know, no matter you from Detroit or Bronx. You know, but I think so some of the issues is a lot of us is growing up without a father.
Yes.
Right. And then the bad thing, some people are really mean out there because they'll say, well, you're a bad kid. You know he's a bad kid or she's a bad kid because her or his dad is in jail. So how about let's help that kid? That and the school system and the public service is that parent. Right, that second parent for the children that's not growing up with parents.
That's right.
Because then the mom got to work.
Got to work.
So that kid is being raised by the streets. We know this, but sometimes people act like they don't know.
doesn't
They don't
factor
know.
in.
Right.
They do factor it in.
They do.
But they act like they don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They want to make you look bad.
Bad. Right.
You're a bad kid. That thug, well, his dad is in prison, and he's trying to figure it out. So let's help that kid.
Right.
Right. So, as you realize that, now you put a different perspective. So you got to change in yourself because you got to be that public role model. You have to, for these kids, which is one of the reasons why I went back to school. One of the reasons why, I'm trying to be more articulate because I want to. They be like, yeah, I know, man. Man, you punched that guy. You did all the stuff. They like it. I'm like, nah, that's not cool.
Right.
Because that could get you in trouble and get you in jail.
Right.
You know what I mean? You need to go to school.
Right.
You need to treat your wife with respect.
Right.
Right? Like that's where you're gonna have the longevity. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's true. It's just evolving.
Right. All right. Well, I love that, man. What are some new business perspectives you got going on, man?
Man, I'm really excited about when the NBA started to pay all these players all this money.
Yep.
And then people was like, Metta, don't you wish you was playing today? I'm like, not really. I mean, yeah, but I said what I'm really interested in is these new companies.
Right.
They say people's in a recession,
Right.
but that's not showing in these NBA contracts.
No.
So the NBA is clearly not in a recession.
In a recession.
And then when I look at it, I'm looking at all the companies on the jerseys. I'm like, oh wow, data-driven companies is thriving.
No.
Right? And then you look at even like apparel. Somebody say, hey, I want to come out with some sneakers, an athlete. That's a data-driven company.
Right.
Right? Because you got to be able to retain, get your customer. They buy one shoe, are they going to buy another? Are they going to buy a shirt? And that can go across content.
Right.
They viewed you today. Are they going to view again?
Right.
Are they going to buy the shirt that you're sponsoring? Are they going to buy this beverage? Right? And that's more interesting to me. Right? So from the consumer product side, I'm super curious about, retention and different things like that. So that's why I got into tech. That's why I went back to school, and just locked in. And I wanted to be a rapper.
Yeah.
Do it all.
I had to fight. Like, I was in school. I'll be like, oh, I want to do a song tonight. No. Focus on the books. Be like, no, I want to. Oh, damn, that song is dope. I want to do a song. Focus on the books. Stay locked in.
Stay locked in.
Stay locked in. So I'm really, really, really excited about that piece and then helping founders.
Right.
Because when I was coming out, I wanted to do my own shoe company. When I was 19. And people said, you can't do a shoe company. It's impossible. And in my mind, I'm 19. I'm like, damn, it's impossible. Damn, but something's telling me that if I put my mind to something, I could do it. But then I got people telling me I can't. That was really confusing to me. Right? So then as I got over the hump and said, I don't even want to talk to people who tell me I can't.
Right.
I want to talk to people who tell me, hey, this is how I would do it.
I'm with you. I don't like to take no for an answer.
Yeah.
You
just signed a $100 million deal. All right, don't spend $50 million on a shoe company. Spend $500,000.
Yeah.
And then take your time.
I always tell people, don't let the no stop at you. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be that person. Like, let it go beyond and see how far you could go. Everybody's like, no, don't let it stop at you. Let it, you know what I mean? Because if not, then we won't be able to flourish, right? Think about all the trials and tribulations.
There's no
we went through
innovation.
growing
There's
up.
no creation.
Yeah, no innovation. And then when we're not here anymore, the future that's behind us is going to say, oh, I can't.
Right.
So now we're not here no more for the next 100,000 years. And, a bunch of people that say, I can't.
Right,
I can't. No, you can.
Yeah, that's right. You can. All right, my brother. Well, I wanted people to see that how intelligent and great you are. You know what I'm saying? And
Thank
the
you, man.
businesses you got going, and I
Appreciate
really
you.
appreciate you.
Thanks for the
Family
platform.
for life.
We are excited to announce that C4 Smart Energy is the official energy drink sponsor of the Connect the Dots podcast. It's harder than ever these days to stay focused with endless distractions and shorter attention spans. It can feel impossible to stop scrolling and actually get work done. Thankfully, C4 Smart Energy has reinvented the energy drink game with C4 Smart Energy, the only energy drink clinically proven to provide enhanced mental focus. C4 Smart Energy is formulated with 200 milligrams of natural caffeine from green coffee beans, plus potassium, niacin, vitamin B12, to help support well-being and help you feel your best, all while boosting metabolism and promoting fat burn. From your brain to your body, C4 Smart Energy is the energy drink that does it all and tastes amazing. C4 Smart Energy is available at Target, Amazon, and anywhere else you get energy drinks. Go grab a can and share on social media, tagging C4 Energy and the Connect the Dots podcast to show us how Smart Energy helps you stay focused wherever you are. C4 Smart Energy, stay focused.
So we are going to go over to our beloved segment from our beloved sponsor, C4 Smart Energy. And we do a segment with them in which we ask people, how do they stay focused? Is there like a ritual you have? Is it like a particular song you listen to? Or like,
That's a great question.
Have to stay focused in your life?
So shout out to C4, Smart Energy Movement, Energy. But I have a couple different ways I stay focused. It was all, if you had a little spectrum, it was like this when I was younger. And to keep it balanced, it took a while. It took therapy, trusting my therapist, and then also learning how to breathe. So when I learned how to breathe, and I was about 28 years old with my therapist in Houston, I discovered that I had tension in my jaws, I had tension in my shoulders, tension here. And when she taught me how to let that loose and then control your breath, then I started to gain control. Then I learned about the chakras. When I started to learn about my chakras, I was like, oh wow, this is really empowering. So then I started to put the meditation and all this stuff together. And then I also had a problem on the court with focus because my mind's moving a lot. So then when I would play, I worked on picking a spot on the rim that I would focus on the whole game. So the whole game, I was connected to the middle of the rim. Now keep in mind, when you move around the court, the rim is in a circle. So the center of the rim changes, right, every time you're moving. So I became connected, and that was my focus from the age of 28, my 8th year, 9th year in the league, until I left. And I kept evolving and finding more powerful tools. And then in 2010, when we won the championship, I was trying not to listen to rap. So I had to stop listening to Mobb Deep and Eminem. I used to listen to Mobb Deep and Eminem, but that was getting my levels too high.
What'd you listen to?
hype.
Beethoven?
Oh, I thought, well, Mary J. Blige. Right? So I did get Mary J. Blige is there. And then I moved on to Alberta Hunter.
Oh.
She was an old artist back in the 1880s through the 1920s, like jazz. So I listened to that one album from when the playoffs started to when the playoff ended. I was just in the zone. Yeah, so that's the only song. Just loop the album all day on the plane before the game, just in the shoot around all day.
Wow, that's crazy.
So I was able to find like a different, I guess a tone or a wave that kept me just focused.
What was her name again?
Her name is Alberta Hunter.
All right, I'm gonna check
Yeah,
that out.
she's incredible.
All right, Alberta Hunter.
Okay, so we're going to do a rapid fire round to end things off. So have you really never lost in checkers?
I have lost in checkers, for sure.
Do you think Stephen A. Smith could score 1 point in an NBA game?
From what I heard, he averaged 1.5 points. That was playing Steve. I do watch a little bit of YouTube basketball gossip.
Who is your celebrity crush?
My wife is my celebrity crush.
There we go. Good answer. Good answer. Felt like Family Feud.
But shout out to all the female entertainers.
All right. Greatest of all time album.
Ooh, greatest of all time album? Oh, Mary J. Blige, My Life.
Dope.
Who's an actor or actress you'd want to have dinner with?
An actor or actress that I would want to have dinner with? I would say Halle Berry or Demi Moore. Because they were my favorite actresses growing up.
Love it.
Who's going to win MVP this year?
MVP, I'm going with SGA
Okay.
Oh,
from
nice.
OKC. He is nice.
Who's the best rapper out right now?
Best rapper out right now? Well, a lot of the old school artists is coming back. This is incredible. These guys is making money like they're 15 years old again. Shout out to Killer Mike.
Yeah, Killer Mike. Word.
He gave me, I want a Grammy. I'm like,
He gave me the
open
inspiration.
season for Grammys.
Yeah. And Killer Mike is just such a good dude, you know what I'm saying?
I couldn't believe it. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And just to see, just like, passion and talent can win.
Yeah.
It was incredible. But I mean, obviously, Drake is pretty dope. I didn't really get him in the beginning,
Yep.
but then I started listening to his rhymes. I'm
Yeah.
like, ooh.
Drake is nice.
I
Listen,
think
bro.
he's really pretty nice.
I'm
He might be the best.
I'm a club kid too. Like I love to hear melodic music. Like I like to hear my music
Yeah.
loud in the club. I think he's dope.
Nah, I think he's pretty dope, yeah.
Next season, LeBron James will play for blank.
Next season, LeBron James playing for the Lakers.
And that
That's a wrap.
Is a wrap.